Come back to the channel. Today is July 20. We'll be doing 5 valid metrics given row and column sums. So given two arrays, which is row sum and column sums, so we want to return a valid matrix, a row by column matrix of the 2D matrix. So let's say given 3 and 8, it means that row 0 need to be, the sum of that need to be 3, and then the second row need to be 8. So this sum up to 3 is sum up to 8, and then the first column need to be sum up to 4, there's 3 plus 1, and then the second column need to be 7. Right, let's dive into an example. Right, so this is the second example. So the left hand side 5, 7, 10 is the row sum, and then the top is the column sum. So the idea here is we want to put 5 into here and then make sure the row sum up to 5, right? And then the column sum up to 8. So one thing to note is that a valid matrix will have the equal row sum and column sum when they sum up. So 8 plus 6 plus 8 is 22. 5 plus 7 plus 10 is also 22. So one way you can do it is greedily putting things into it. Let's say I have the 5, right? I can just put 5 into here, and then everything else from here will be 0, right? When I go to the second one, I can try to put as much as I can to fulfill the columns up. So I can put 3 here, so I fulfill this row, this column. And then for any remaining 7, we just row it to the next one, right? So we greedily put it here to, since we only have 4 left, we greedily put it here to fulfill as much as 6 as possible. And then since we're done in 2 column, we just leave anything left from here is 0. Right, that's how we're gonna do. So in order to do this question, I initialize the current row sum and then current column sum to keep track of how many items we have already put it in. So let's say we put it 5 here already, right? So the current row sum will be 5 equals to 5, and then the current column sum will also be equals to 5. And then the algorithm of how we decide what to put in there is using this. So I'll explain this more later, but you need to know, like, when we first doing this, let's say if 8 is the current column sum, current row sum is 8, and then if the row sum we want on this row is 8 and then the column is 5, then we cannot put 8 here. We only put 5 because we want to put a minimum one. All right, so going on. So why are we doing this is we take the minimum of the row sum that want to sum up of that row minus the current row sum, and then we compare it with the column sum minus the current column sum. So what I'm saying here is, let's say we skip all the zeros for these two because we already fulfilled this 5, right? If we go into the 5, and then we say row sum for first row is 5, and then minus the current row sum is 5, so they will give us 0. But the column sum for this one is 6, and the current column sum is 0, so it will give you 6. So between 0 and 6, 0 is the minimum, so we take 0. So same here, you compare 0 and 8, and then you get 0. So when we move on to the next one, we will see that our current row sum at this point is actually 0 before I update this. Is 0, and then my row sum is 7. So 7 minus 0 is 7, right? But the column sum here is 8. We minus the current column sum, which previously we have 5 already, right? So 8 minus 5 is 3. So we put a 3 here. So we fulfill this. We fulfill the first column. So we only have 3 right here. We row it to the next one. We row it so that we greedily put a 4 right here. And then we do it for the next term, and then we do it for the last term. All right, so let's dive into the code. So we define rows to be the length of row sum, and then we do columns equals the length of column sum. And then, as I said, I initialize this So I initialize it as long as the length of the rows as then as the column as well. And then we initialize a 2D result array with zeros for all of them. So this is how you initialize a 2D array. So here, we want to go through every single cell. So we set for I in range rows, for J in range columns, and then for the result I and J we want to set them equals to the mean of this that we set it here, right? Just copy here. Okay, it's too long. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, and then after that we just want to update our current sum for current row sum plus equals to the value that we put it. And then this should be the I row. And then we do the same for the J column. And then at the end, we can just return the result. Okay, let's run this. Accept it, and let's submit this. All right, the complexity will just be of n squared because we need to go through every single cell. So it would be rows times columns. Yeah. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.